Hey guys, it's Channel Jacker here with another Jacked and Unscripted. I wanted to make this my first Q&A, but I only got one question, so I thought I would expand on that question a little bit and kind of make it its own little video. So, the question came from a user named Brandon Moody, and he asked me, what are my thoughts on the new Toonami? Well, before I give my thoughts on it, I would like to give a brief synopsis of, for the people who don't know what Toonami is, what exactly it is and why he would ask me that question. Toonami was a show that started, it was like its own little block of, like a show with anime and some cartoons and such that started in 1997 and lasted until 2008. It even was so good it lasted on, I think, WB Kids for about, maybe 2 years. I can't remember the dates off my head, but yeah, it was hosted by a robot named Tom, normally voiced by Steve Bloom, and he would introduce the anime. Sometimes he would review games. It would always be interesting to see what, Toonami would have. And basically, Toonami was what introduced me to anime and all of its concepts, all of the great shows like Dragon Ball Z, just to name one. It would always be on when I got home from school. Sometimes it would move to a late night slot later, but it was always on. It always had anime, and it always had great entertaining quality from the shows and Toonami itself with Tom and later Sarah and the little bumpers that it would create. When Toonami was canceled in 2008, a lot of people were really sad. A lot of people were bummed because Toonami was really their childhood. It was on for a very long time. It was always voiced by Steve Bloom. Tom went through some changes throughout the years, but he was always Tom to everybody's eyes. And for really a lot of people, Toonami was the thing that introduced them to anime. And for it to be gone, kind of, left a bit of a hole. It hurt, for a lot of people. Kind of felt like something was taken away like a piece of them was taken away when Toonami was. Even though Toonami was gone, there were a lot of campaigns to get it back. I think the biggest campaign definitely was Neo Toonami, which I think is still going online. And that is like its own little Toonami. It has anime that it runs on, I believe, a website. And they were like the one to take it the furthest. And though there were a lot of people who wanted Toonami back, they missed it, they remembered the good times, they had Neo Toonami now, I don't think a lot of people expected that it would come back. And what I mean about that is April 1st, 2012. On April 1st, 2012, Adult Swim usually changes its programming. Usually it airs different things, different shows, because it's April Fool's, it's different. Normally, at midnight, it would air The Room, because it aired The Room the past few years. It even opened up with the opening scene of The Room, but then it immediately switched to The Absolution, which was Toonami's ship, and Tom, and the actual good Tom, not the Thomas the Tank Engine, what the heck design am I looking at, Tom? This was the Tom a lot of people liked the most, which I believe was the third incarnation of Tom. And a lot of people were shocked. A lot of people couldn't believe what they were seeing, that it was Steve Bloom still voicing Tom, saying that Adult Swim does have April Fools, and it launched into its anime lineup. And when it did that, a lot of people were just drawn into the nostalgia. It was a throwback to their childhood. Toonami was back. It was amazing. It was even it was all new stuff. Tom even reviewed Mass Effect 3. He promoted the DVD releases of the anime shown, so they could see them all, because I guess it was only going to be a one-night thing. And though that was the thing, even though it was great, we all kind of knew it was going to end. However, after this, Adult Swim would then ask if we wanted it back. The block had a huge rating spike, and it was probably the highest they had in a while. It was like they showed the ratings on a bumper, and it was spiked. Just how many people watched that block was amazing when they found out that Toonami was airing. So, the campaign which started was hashtag Bring Toonami Back. And it was Adult Swim who asked it, want it back? Tell us, hashtag Bring Toonami Back. And from there, the internet exploded. This was all over Twitter, all over. The hashtag Bring Toonami Back was everywhere. There were Toonami raps to bring Toonami back. There were campaigns by the people. Steve Bloom himself made a video expressing his gratitude for the campaign and his desire to see Toonami come back full time. This was there was no fooling around with this. This was something that we saw the opportunity that we could have what we watched for over 10 years come back, and because of that, we all jumped on the opportunity, and we all just did our absolute best to get it back. And needless to say, it came back. And it didn't just come back, it came back in a month and a half. May 26th was when it came back, with the hashtag Toonami is back, bitches. I know that's a curse, but that's what the actual tagline was. And when it came back, we were all thrilled because we did it. Toonami came back, and we got Tom back, and later Tom did change. He's now thinner. He's got a new ship, and even Sarah came back, who was kind of Tom's sidekick for a long time. But when it first came back, it was a little bit of a slow going. I mean, it only had a 12 to 3 a.m. Time slot, and then from the 3 to 6 a.m. it would just air a repeat of the 12 to 3 a.m. time slot. But even though it was still slow going, even though it didn't have a lot of content at first, it still got new content, and it still did what it did for the 10 years it was on TV, and that was introduce me to new anime. Now, I'm not going to say that I'm like the most anime connoisseur guy out there, but I know a pretty good bit, to talk about anime and about anime shows in general. So, usually when Toonami gets an anime, I watch it. And the two anime that it had that I really liked when it first came back were Dead Man Wonderland and Casher and Sins. Dead Man Wonderland, if you don't like gore, you're not going to like this, but I've watched Elfen Lied. So, Elfen Lied, I don't really know how the pronunciation goes. Everybody says it's different. I think it's Lied. But when I saw that, it was a really good anime. It told a good story. It was only like a 12-episode long anime. However, I've seen the manga online, and it is enormous. Enormous. I've read some of it, but it's just huge compared to the series. But it was a great series, and I'm glad I watched it, and I'm glad Toonami had it on the air for us to watch it. And it's not a long anime. If you want to go check it out, if you don't mind gory scenes, I think you'd like it if you like anime. So Dead Man Wonderland's definitely a recommendation. Casher and Sins is, it's not gory per se. It's more on the lines of completely depressing. It's a very sad storyline mixed with, other things, like there's a character named Ringo who is so cute that it melts your eyes. But it's based in this post-apocalyptic world where everybody's robots, but they're all rotting away and dying, giving their basis of immortality nothing, because they were robots and they're supposed to live forever. And now everybody's dying because of a thing called the Ruin, except this one robot, Casher, who's seemingly the perfect specimen and something like that. It's a very good anime. It's a bit longer than Dead Man Wonderland. I believe it's 24 to 25 episodes, I think. But another recommendation by me. It's a pretty sad anime, but it's still a really good anime. It had great designs, had a pretty good story, and I'm glad I watched that one too. And eventually Adult Swim would get more anime, and they'd get more shows. They would get Samurai 7, which is another good anime, very nice action anime. Another shorter one, I think 20-some episodes. And all those three aren't on Toonami anymore. They've been replaced. The one that's on right now that I've been watching is Soul Eater. I've been wanting to watch Soul Eater for a very long time, and I've never found the time to do it. And now Toonami's showing it, which I'm very grateful for. I'm very happy that Toonami's showing it. I think Soul Eater's a really great anime. The animation is beautiful. It's wonderful. Really sucks you into the world, and I'm really glad that they have Soul Eater on there to watch. They have other anime, they have other shows on there, like Symbiotic Titan and Thundercats, which aren't really anime per se, but I'm glad they're on there. It gives the block a bit of more variety. But they also more classic, more popular anime on there, like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, which I always love to watch. Cowboy Bebop, of course, you know, who wouldn't want to watch Cowboy Bebop? You know, it's one of the... Even if you don't like Cowboy Bebop, you gotta respect what it did. It really set the tone for anime. At least one of the tone setters, one of the biggest ones. Inuyasha, which was always fun to watch. I always watched it. Drug on a little bit after a while, but it was still one of my childhood anime, so I always loved watching it, just to relive the nostalgic moments of it. And it's also showing Naruto Uncut. And Naruto can definitely be grating at times with its filler, but hey, it's nice to see it uncut, and it's also a bit of nostalgia for me, so it's nice to watch it, you know, from time to time, even though I've seen a lot of the episodes up to Shippuden. It's still nice to see it and see it uncut. So, in short, I love the new Toonami. I'm glad it's back, and I hope it continues for a long time to come. It's on from Saturdays from midnight to 6 a.m. If you haven't watched it, midnight to 6 a.m. Yes, if you haven't watched it, give it a watch. It's definitely a recommendation. It has great anime. It has great shows. If you can stay up late and watch it, definitely. Oh, they also brought back One Piece, which I was happy about. One Piece is now on its lineup, and it's starting 200 episodes in, which I am so thankful for. Because they didn't start the other animes like episodes in, and I was worried that they would for One Piece, but they didn't, and that's where I basically left off at One Piece, was like 200 episodes in, so it really makes me feel good about that. So if you stopped watching One Piece when Toonami stopped airing it, well, they picked right up from where it started, pretty much. So yeah, all in all, I love One Piece. I hope it lasts for a long time. All the anime on it are great. It's a definite recommendation from me. So that's my Q&A. Ask me questions if you like. Leave them in the comments. Any questions about anything. Just keep it PG. I'll add, you know, sports, cartoons, anime, anything like that. Leave questions for Attic too. She'd love to do a Q&A. Just leave us questions, guys, in the comments. That's all we ask. And before I go, I'd like to update you guys on the Story Trollers real quick. We do have a project in the pipeline. I still need to film for it. As you can tell by my cough, I've been getting over a bit of a cold. So it's been keeping me from filming my parts for our next project. But I'm getting over it now. This Jackton was almost kind of a test to see if I could film for it, and it seems like I can. I might give it another day or so, but expect our new Story Troller project very soon, and we're very excited for it, so we'll see it then. So I hope you enjoyed this Unscripted. We're still working hard for you guys. We're up to 75 subscribers, and we are so happy about that. We only hope we continue to grow. We only hope our audience continues to grow. We only hope you continue to enjoy what we continue to bring out to you guys to entertain you and just all in all, thank you guys for the support. Leave questions for Jacked and Unscripted Q&As, Fiction Fix Unscripted Q&As. We'll answer them the best we can. Our new project will be out soon. And that's it. I'm Channel Jacker. This has been another Jacked and Unscripted, and we are the Story Trollers.